Right now, if you sit still, you feel completely stationary, but you're actually riding the Earth's surface at 1,600 kilometers an hour. Imagine that invisible momentum suddenly vanishes. In a single millisecond, the planet's rotation drops to zero. The physical rock of the Earth has stopped, but the physics of inertia take over. Everything resting on the surface retains that 1,600 kilometer per hour velocity. If an object isn't anchored deep into bedrock, it gets ripped away. Modern concrete structures shear right off their foundations, launching sideways. Cars, trees, and people are launched forward. Survival is impossible because the surface world simply cannot accommodate this sudden kinetic energy. The threat is immediate, physical, and governed by mass in motion. And the solid crust is just the beginning. The fluid elements of the planet, our atmosphere and our oceans, also retain their rotational momentum. The air wrapping the globe continues moving at the original rotational speed. This generates 1,600 kilometer per hour winds that instantly scour the landscape, tearing away the topsoil right down to the rock. The oceans react the exact same way. The sudden halt forces the world's water to violently slosh sideways. Supersonic tsunamis miles high rush across the continents, instantly wiping out coastal regions and erasing everything in their path. Within the very first hour, the retained kinetic energy of water and air completely erases the recognizable surface of human civilization. As the dust and water settle over the following days, a new geographical reality sets in, driven entirely by the tension between gravity and centrifugal force. Earth's spin normally creates a centrifugal force that pushes outward at the equator. This invisible pressure pulls the oceans toward the planet's midsection, creating a global water bulge 42 kilometers wider than the poles. When the rotation stops, that centrifugal force disappears entirely. Gravity becomes the dominant, unchallenged force shaping the oceans. Without that outward push, the massive equatorial waters are drawn directly toward the north and south poles, flowing away from the center of the planet. This massive water migration exposes the ocean floor across the equator. The result is a continuous, dry supercontinent wrapping around the Earth's middle, bounded by two giant polar oceans. Removing the counterforce to gravity physically drains the planet's midsection, rewriting our global geography in a matter of days. Below the surface, another crisis is brewing. The crust of the Earth has stopped moving, but the inner core is likely still spinning. The immense friction between the static outer layers and the moving core triggers tectonic warfare. Supervolcanoes activate, and massive earthquakes fracture the new supercontinent. Years later, the planet settles into a harsh astronomical reality. Earth is now tidally locked, keeping the exact same side facing the sun at all times as it orbits. On the sun-facing side, permanent, boiling daylight bakes the surface. This triggers a runaway greenhouse effect as ocean water turns completely to vapor. The exact opposite happens on the dark side. Stripped of sunlight, the atmosphere condenses, and the hemisphere becomes a frozen wasteland encased in solid ice. The extreme temperature gradient between boiling day and frozen night forces air to aggressively circulate, creating permanent, chaotic superstorms churning across the barren rock. The delicate global weather balance is destroyed. A tidally locked climate simply leaves us with two highly distinct, equally uninhabitable hemispheres. There is one final invisible casualty. The halted planetary dynamo effect causes Earth's magnetic field to decay, allowing deadly cosmic radiation to bombard the surface unhindered. If human life were to persist on this rock, it would be in a narrow band known as the Terminator line. This spin ring sits exactly on the boundary between day and night, resting in a moderate equilibrium caught between fire and ice. But survival here is brutal. The inhabitants face constant, scrubbing winds and massive rivers of rushing water, fed by melting glaciers from the dark side. Any remnants of humanity would be restricted to this storm-ravaged ring, completely blind to the starry night sky, and permanently isolated from the changing of the seasons. We often view Earth's rotation through the simple lens of day and night, but the spinning crust is the hidden foundation of the planet's entire physical state. It is the underlying engine for all planetary equilibrium. It holds the oceans in place, stabilizes the climate we thrive in, and powers our protective magnetic shield. The static, airless lunar surface offers a glimpse into a world where the internal engine has stopped. For Earth, with its vast oceans and thick atmosphere, that stillness is replaced by a chaotic, destructive struggle to find a new equilibrium. That invisible 1,600-kilometer-per-hour ride we take for granted every single day is exactly what makes Earth a living world.